We live in egalitarian times, and we're supposed to say that we're all the same. But the fact of the matter is that that is not true. There are some of us who are more equal than others. There are some of us who are simply better than others. And it is all reducible to the issue of class. See, it's quite obvious that all of us are different, and because we are all different, some of us are better than others in different aspects. Some of us run faster than others. Some of us are smarter than others. Some of us are taller or shorter or fatter or thinner or what have you. We're all different, yes, of course, yeah. But there is an issue insofar as the native quality of a person. And that is the issue of class. That is the native inherent quality and value of the person. This inherent value and quality of the person, it's self-evident, but you have to look for it. Look for it the way you look at the qualities of, say, a car. I'm sure that at some point in your life you've gone to, like, say, I don't know, like a Hyundai dealership, or if you've ever heard of the firm Great Wall, which is a Chinese brand of cars. Yeah, I've been to a showroom of Great Wall cars, right? And the cars are sort of like, piece of shit, right? They're new, they're brand new. But the quality, the little details, how it's built, it's just, right? And I'm sure you've gone to a Ferrari or a Lamborghini dealership, yeah? And you've seen Lambos and Ferraris, right? Sitting there in the showroom, and what are they like? What are the interiors like? It's quality, You can feel it, you can smell it, It's like the vibe coming off of it. The panels of the car fit perfectly. The leather, the stitching, everything just looks perfect. It's just so obviously better, The Great Wall car and the Ferrari, they're both cars. They both got four wheels and an engine. They've got chassis, and they both drive, and they both can go pretty fast. They can get up to 100 miles an hour maybe, right? But the inherent quality difference, it's so unmistakable, right? That's class. And see, here's the thing about people, and this is the weird thing, but it's something that I've noticed. You see, class, you can decide to have class. You can decide that you are going to be a classy person, that you are going to have inherently be better. You don't need to have been born with class to achieve class. Now, it took me a long time to figure this out, because in my own case, I was born aristocratic. I come from a very distinguished and aristocratic family, right? And because of that, I was taught that this whole notion of class was inherent. It was a birthright. You were born with it or born without it. And that's what I thought for a number of years. But over the years, over the decades, quite frankly, I realized that this is not true. I realized at a young age that there were a lot of people, family members of mine, who with the same, ancestry as mine, who were classless bastards, who were just simply awful people, right? They did not have any kind of inherent quality. And over the decades, I've met a number of people who have come from extremely humble backgrounds, who are filled with class, who are filled with this inherent superiority, this baseline inherent betterness, for lack of a better word. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, just because somebody was born humble, just because somebody was born from very straitened circumstances does not mean that they lack class. And just because you were born without class doesn't mean that you cannot acquire it. Now, class is not an issue of, which fork you're using and which knife you're using at the table. No, it's that, yes, but there's a lot more to it. It's an inner dignity. That's what it really is. An inner sense that you act and behave with decency, even when it costs you. I think that that's the key issue, by the way, that it costs you to act with dignity, to act with discretion, to act with humility. It costs you sometimes. It costs you sometimes a little and sometimes a lot. But the thing is, see, though it costs you, as you go on acting this way with decency, with humility, with a lack of arrogance, with class, it starts to build in you somehow. You start to become more like the Ferrari. You might have been born a Great Wall, but as you act with decency and grace and kindness, especially kindness to those who are weaker than you, or who are in an inferior position to you, or who are unimportant to you, and whom you can make life miserable for, like for instance, like a waiter or something like that. As you act with decency towards such people, this class, this grace starts to accrue. It's almost like savings in a bank. The more you do it, the more you have, if that makes any sense. And it really does change you. It really does change you, and other people perceive you better. Because people with class, people with grace, people who are inherently kind and decent and act with humility and discretion towards others, well, others perceive that. And a lot of times people without class hate you for it. And they hate you and shit on you because of it. And a lot of times other people who do have class will recognize it. And they will treat you better. And they will want to be with you. And the best people will gravitate towards you if you act this way. Now, this issue of class, I have to emphasize, it does not have to do with money. See? Money cannot buy class. A lot of people think that they can buy class with money. That if they buy, I don't know, if they hire people who can teach them how to eat with the proper silverware or speak with the right accent or what have you, that they will get this class thing and they will be accepted. And you see that with a lot of different communities, a lot of different people who try to stick on to themselves what they think is class, but they don't realize what it really is. Class is not something of how you behave in your manners or your diction or your education. Class is a moral issue. And I think that that's what I'm trying to make you understand. See? You are not born with class. You are born just as anybody else. And your humility towards others, your kindness towards others, especially those who do not matter, the way you behave, and your constant striving to improve yourself, but improve yourself in a way to better yourself but not show off to others. That adds up. It adds up, and people see it. They can tell. They can tell the difference between the Ferrari and the Great Wall car. They can tell the difference between a man who has class and a man who doesn't. And people respond to you differently. And here's more to the point. See, when you act as a man with class, with humility, and with kindness to others, kindness but not weakness, when you act that way, you yourself feel better. You feel superior. Because you are superior. Because a man with class is a Ferrari, not a Great Wall.